devotee came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I want to renounce everything. The person was really thinking that Prabhupada would be pleased with him. And Prabhupada was pleased with him and gave him an answer. You have nothing to renounce. Everything belongs to Krishna. What do you have to renounce? The only thing you have to renounce is the egoistic misconception that you have something to renounce. Hare Krishna. Akinchana Gotra. Prahlad, Dhruva was a Kinchana Gotram in the jungle, and he was also a Kinchana Gotram when he was the king of the world, by the grace of Narada Muni. So as he was traveling around to the sons of Daksha, he understood what was good for them, and he preached to them Bhagavad Dharma, and they became brahmacharis. And Daksha was not happy. So he created some more sons and sent them to do tapasya and said, don't follow what your other sons did. I mean, your other brothers. And then Narada Muni approached them and tell them, your other brothers are really happy. In so many words. So they became brahmacharis. And Daksha was wild with anger. Now Daksha is not just some, father living in Malad or something like that. He's a heavenly, powerful person. We read in Srimad Bhagavatam that Daksha, he's living in heavenly planets, and he's among the demigods. He's one of the most highly respected people in the universe. His physical beauty, his effulgence is supernatural. His intellect, his power, he's a Prajapati. That means he's, on behalf of Brahma, he's procreating the population of the universe, not just the world, the earth, the universe. Unbelievable personality. His daughters are marrying great rishis and sages who live practically forever. And when he comes to these meetings, it described when he walked into this one assembly, all the rishis, sages, the greatest of the Brahmins, and even the demigods stood up with awe and reverence to receive him. Only Shiva didn't, because he was absorbed in meditation. He didn't even know Daksha came. And Brahma didn't, because he's Daksha's father and ultimately his guru. But every other demigod, rishi and sage stood up to receive him. Can you imagine what kind of a powerful person he was? Daksha was furious on Narada Muni. And he's blasphemed Narada Muni with vicious words. You are a pretender, you are a hypocrite, you are a cheater, you are misguiding society. And then he cursed him that you will not be able to ever stay in one place. Now that's an intense curse, because Narada Muni lives for a long time. And he's never allowed to stay in one place. He's got to always be moving and moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. Of course, he doesn't have to take airplanes which is really taxing on the health. He chants a mantra and he goes somewhere else. But he was cursed. And how did Narada Muni take that curse? As a blessing. He didn't react to Daksha, because Daksha said that curse not with compassion, but with anger and a type of hatred. He wanted to make Narada Muni suffer. That was his intention, to make him suffer for what he did. He was not trying to uplift Narada like Narada did to Nala Kuvera and Manigriva. He was trying to get revenge on him. You made me suffer like this, now you suffer even worse. And for Daksha, because we see through the eyes of our own attachments in life, for somebody who's really attached to their home and their security and their stability like Daksha, that's a really bad curse that you can't stay anywhere. But Narada Muni, even though it was spoken with so much vengeance, he accepted it as a blessing. Because Narada Muni's motive in life is not to enjoy. His motive in life is to serve. So in whatever situation, the question is, how can I serve? Not how can I be comfortable and enjoy. So to Narada Muni, this curse is a blessing. Now I have an excuse where I don't have to ever stay anywhere for any length of time. I could just keep moving and chanting and spreading the glories of Krishna's qualities and his pastimes and his holy names. So Narada Muni was fully qualified and realized to give curses that were blessings, because he was fully qualified and willing to accept curses as blessings. This is a great Vaishnava. To appreciate a Vaishnava's compassion. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha. Devotees are compared to trees. This is a good subject. They're compared to desire trees because they can fill the innermost desires of the soul. And to the degree we actually understand what Vaishnava's motivations are, we can appreciate. Narada Muni was able to appreciate because of the blessings he received from the Bhaktivedantas in his previous life. And similarly, in the association of devotees, by studying Srila Prabhupada's books, by hearing his lectures, by hearing the lectures of saints like what we have here today, these two at least, we actually learn how to understand what is the compassion of a Vaishnava. Sukadev Maharaj was talking about Srila Prabhupada's blessings. That people are gathered around asking, give me blessings, give me blessings. And Prabhupada said, I bless you, you become like these brahmacharis and sannyasis. One of my godbrothers, who was Prabhupada's personal servant for some time, told me that after a lecture Prabhupada gave, this one Indian man was following him everywhere, saying, please give me blessings. And Prabhupada just kept walking because he could understand the intent of the person. He was very materialistically yearning for a blessing that would make him enjoy better. So Prabhupada just walked, and the person kept following him, following. Prabhupada went to his room, and the person went right to the door and practically wouldn't allow Prabhupada to close the door. He said, "Swamiji, give me blessings, please give me blessings." And Prabhupada looked at him, not with anger, but with compassion, and said, "I bless you that your material life will be finished." And the person actually fell on the floor. And Prabhupada then was able to close the door. So he had something to think about. But Prabhupada, obviously, it's not that literally necessarily that person lost everything, but he definitely had the opportunity to lose that illusion and really think about, what is life? You see, when you know you're going to lose everything, you start becoming more spiritual. What is really important? Unless that intoxication of attachment and expectations is gone, we can't really look for what is beyond the truth, Krishna, the absolute truth. So we can appreciate the compassion of Vaishnavas when we actually learn from Vaishnavas. Otherwise, Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigyena pujai. Vaishnavas are not always so easy to understand. But if in the association of devotees, we actually learn what is the compassion of a Vaishnava, how they really are our well-wishers. Srila Prabhupada would sometimes cry, literally, when he would think of Jesus Christ willing to be crucified just to show love to others, compassion. Srila Prabhupada would be very emotional when he would talk about Haridas Thakur being willing to be beaten through 22 marketplaces, willingly, only because he wanted to show compassion to others. And when he would tell us about Vasudev Dutt, who was willing to perpetually suffer hellish conditions to take everyone in the universe's karma on his own head so that they could be happy with Krishna. This was his compassion. And Prabhupada's emotions when he would talk about little Prahlad offering a prayer to Narasimhadev. If you want to give me any blessing, benediction, give my father liberation. And as far as me, let me remain in this world as long as people are acting like fools and rascals in forgetfulness of you. This is the compassion of great souls. Their compassion for the soul of others, to liberate the soul from the misconception of the body and bring the soul to that ultimate reunion with Krishna, with the Lord. That is the compassion of devotees. And devotees see that the body and the mind of others is a means by which we could reach the souls. So devotees show compassion to the body and to the mind of others with the intent of utilizing, developing the medium by which we can actually reach that person's soul and bring it to Krishna. Mundane philanthropy is when our compassion ends with the body or mind. Spiritual is through the body and through the mind, because obviously when we're speaking to someone, we're going through their ears. Yes? Ears is a material thing, but transcendental vibration going through the ear is liberating their soul. And prasad, we're tasting it with our tongue, yes? Which is a mundane thing. And we're chewing it with our teeth. And we're swallowing it with our throats. And then it's going into our stomachs. And it's getting churned and digested by, this is sacred prasad. But when you give somebody prasad, we don't always think about what's going to happen to it. But that prasad is going in their stomach, and then acids are just breaking it down into all kinds of, molecular particles and everything. And then some of it goes into the blood, and other parts of it, it comes out. I don't have to go into details. But it's not the physical food, it's the mercy that's within it, the prasad. But that prasad, the physical body is a medium by which we get that prasad to liberate the soul. The Mahaprasad incense, we're smelling with our nose. And when we come before the deity, the ultimate Mahaprasad of the darshan of Radhagopinath, our eyes are seeing. And through these eyes, it's coming through into our brain. Because the brain is facilitating the eyes to actually be able to see, and the nervous system and its resident. And then with our mind, we're meditating on the deities. We're meditating on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Intelligence is a material element. But we're studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and taking that material element and using it as a medium. So in giving Krishna consciousness to others, our aim is one, to liberate the soul. Because we know we can help a person's body and we can help a person's mind a little, and that's nice, it's sattva guna. But they're going to die. It may happen today and it may happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen. So what is the depth of that compassion? People will not be happy with health. Health is a facility, it's a medium by which it could be used for something wonderful. Certainly, there will be less temporary suffering if there's good health, and we want to see people like that. But that's not the aim. Because the health's going to fall away in just a matter of time. The soul is looking for one thing and one thing alone. Krishna. To reconnect with Krishna. Religion comes from the Latin word religio, which means to reconnect with Krishna, God. Yoga, to reunite with Krishna, with God. That's compassion, to create that, to liberate the soul from the confines of ignorance and illusion and reconnect that soul to the fountainhead, the source of all pleasure. Shri Ram, the reservoir of all pleasure. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yagyai Sankirtanapura Yajanti Hishumedash. Kalera dosanide rajanasti heka mahan guna kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangha param prajet. This age of Kali is an ocean of faults. People are so addicted to superficial, useless attachments. So addicted that they're willing to fight over trifling things and hate each other over trifling things and create immense, enormous, horrible karma over superficial attachments that mean nothing. But in this age of Kali, there's one benediction. Krishna has appeared in his name. And by taking shelter of the holy names, one can achieve the perfection of liberation. Krishna Prema, ecstatic love, the need of every soul, the fundamental potential that is within all of us. To love in ecstasy and feel the supreme unlimited ecstasy of Krishna's love. That is all through the chanting of Krishna's names. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught the highest compassion that a Vaishnava could give is to induce people to actually take shelter of God's names. And to live in such a way that we could chant the holy name and please Krishna. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained, without developing the character of a Vaishnava, humility, gratitude, a service attitude, forgiveness, self-control, then you could chant the holy names of the Lord. It may take hundreds of births. But if you really try to develop the proper attitude of a Vaishnava, in this life you can attain that prema bhakti. The greatest compassion. But we require the blessings of the devotees to be able to appreciate a Vaishnava's compassion. And as Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj was saying, through the grace of the devotees, we can appreciate not only a Vaishnava's compassion, but Krishna's compassion, which is actually coming 24 hours a day. If we just recognize it, if we tune into it, and we reciprocate accordingly. Gratitude is crucial. Srila Prabhupada explained, Agyata Sukriti, the beginning of one's spiritual life, is when anyone in the world appreciates any activity of a devotee or devotional service. That appreciation is an expression of love, whether we know it or not. And that's when our devotional life begins. So to the degree we appreciate the compassion of Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas who are living with us today, the Vaishnavas who have over the ages given us so much, appreciation for the sacrifices Prabhupada gave us, appreciation for the teachings of how to appreciate. Through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's life, and Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's life, and Bhakti Vinod Thakur's life, and the 6 Goswamis, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, Parama Karuna Pahundu Ijana. They are supremely compassionate. And ultimately Radha and Krishna, who appear as Lord Chaitanya. To the extent we can appreciate we can access, we can benefit in every situation in life. But the tendency in Kali Yuga is, instead of appreciating the intent of devotees to induce people to be liberated, we find fault, or we ignore, and then we just don't benefit. Appreciation of the holy qualities of Vaishnavism and compassion is very much what makes Vaishnav community beautiful and satisfying to the heart and soul. We were speaking in class this morning. Krishna, he was appreciating everyone's sincerity of love in Dwarka, despite their incredible differences. And how Srila Prabhupada was also. So his appreciation of whatever little sincerity anybody had fanned the spark of that sincerity and made it grow into a burning fire of enthusiasm for devotional service and the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So to rise above the tendencies of arrogance and envy and all of these other distractions, anarthas within us, actually enables us to appreciate the compassion of the Vaishnavas. And at the same time, by learning how to appreciate the compassion of Vaishnavas, that empowers us to overcome all obstacles of envy and lust and anger and greed and illusion. So I'm very grateful, Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj and Shukadev Maharaj, for your beautiful words. Thank you very much.